What's up, everybody? It's Friday night. What are y'all doing out there? Hey, it's Friday night. I am so excited tonight, and I'm happy to be here. I know we use the word excited, but I certainly am. I am thrilled. I am ecstatic. I am very glad to have this moment to share with you in regards to building workplace confidence in a remote setting or just in your office at large. I want to come to you from a corporate standpoint tonight. I know it's going to be a bit of a spin from some of the things that I've always talked about and shared on this same platform, but I'm often asked about maintaining corporate confidence and how do you actually still move in a world that has become so remote and still able to transform in your area and lay hold to promotions and things of that nature. So we all know that prayer is essential. We all know that reading and studying is essential to growth. But there are certain things that you definitely have to do in the workplace that sets you apart. So I am TK. I am considered Coach Carter in some cases and in some arenas. TK Carter here. I'm happy to bring to you tonight on Working the Dash platform, how to build confidence in a remote workplace. So what I would love for you to do right now for me is to share this with your corporate colleagues, share this with somebody who you may think need this opportunity to chime in and share. I understand it's Friday night. You've already left a long week of work, 40 plus hours of work, and you're saying to yourself, why in the world would she think we would want to listen to anything remotely related to work? But I wanted to jump on and I wanted to jump in just very briefly here, just to talk about building a workplace confidence. So I'm happy to do that tonight. And like most of you, many of you are probably out. You're probably, at your locations. And I am webcasting this from a few of the platforms that I have. So if you're on YouTube, if you are on Working the Dash, the private group, or if you're right here with me right now, we are here ready to talk about building workplace confidence. Again, please do me a favor. Like, share, and love. Like, share, and love. I really want you to send this to somebody who may need it. And I'm happy because it's just something different. You know, it's always good to do something outside of your comfort zone. So I honestly have challenged myself in this area. And let me just tell you something very transparently. I put this flyer out, I think maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember which day it was. And as I started moving inside of the week, I became so nervous about doing this. I was like, OMG, what were you thinking? Why would you put that out there? But one thing I had to learn was that is a part of pulling confidence. So we want to know, is confidence a learned trait? Is it something that you're innately born with? And that confidence is slightly jaded when you become fearful in certain areas. So I became very fearful in the area, and I thought to myself, why in the world would I put myself out here? But it is an accountability portion of confidence. It's being accountable to yourself. Yes, Brittany Arnold is hanging out here with me, and she's saying the game is on. You all know I have absolutely no sports bone in my body. I'm not even sure who's playing, and I know that's going to be sad for those of you who are actually watching the game or even at the game for that matter. So I heard and I have seen that the Grizzlies are playing because I have colleagues. They told me something regarding the 76ers today via chat. I'm not really sure about that. So that's pretty much the closest connection that I have right now with sports, other than wanting to run off of this broadcast. So anyway, that was just a small pun. Hopefully you enjoyed that. It made me chuckle on the inside. Anyway, so thank you, Brittany, for letting me know that nobody is going to be with me tonight because you all are busy watching the game. So anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about confidence. Why is confidence so important in the workplace? One writer or there is a young lady. She is a confidence coach, and she has stated that we are in what's called a confidence crisis when it comes to our workplaces. And she states that recent research has revealed that only 4% of us really feel confident in our daily jobs. That is just flabbergasting to me. That only 4% of those in the workplace feel confident while they are at work. So the impact of working remotely, what is the impact of working remotely? We've had to shut down our comfort spaces of an office or cubicle. And although you may say, hey, how can that be comfortable versus being at home or being able to work wherever you want to work? Well, there's certain luxuries, if you will, that comes with being in the office. Hey, what if then with just free coffee, for crying out loud? You got coffee, you have water, you have people there. But in the fast-paced environment, in the professional world, what has happened is that we've had to now compete in areas of technology. We've had to compete in areas of being comfortable presenting through virtual processes that, if you're not as confident in those areas, and if you don't feel comfortable doing that, you find yourself feeling less capable in your actual skill set. So I'm very I want everyone to understand that that is the reason why we have to have confidence in ourselves, because if you don't have confidence in yourself, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to have confidence in your professional environment. So think about this. We can think of confidence as defined as a skill that's outside of who we are. Okay. And I see Supervisor Taylor on here. And I don't want to get into too many church terms because we are talking about workplace, and those that have chimed in, Dr. Hill, Brittany, I see Jade, I see Leonard. We're all in the workforce. We are all in the workforce. Many of these persons that I actually see who've chimed in, we have businesses on the side, but we actually carry an 8 to 5, or the job that I says pays our benefits. So we are at a job, be it remote or whether we're going in person. And so we have to perceive confidence as a trait that some people have and others don't. That's how you have to perceive it, because you have to think of confidence being like a home that you have to maintain. You have to build it, then you have to maintain it. If you don't put things in to maintain it, it will soon fall down. So you have to understand that confidence is not just a package that's handed to some and not handed to others. It is something that has to be developed over time. If you agree with me, or if you have something to say, please put it in the chat, because I do want to make this a little bit more conversational, since it is about the workplace. And I really do thank you, Brittany, for saying that it's due to a lack of pressure and people feeling like they always have to perform. And let me add to that, they feel like they have to overperform or outperform someone else. So if you don't think of confidence as something that we all have to obtain and that we all have to build from a foundation, and then that we all have to maintain and then add to it, if you can think of confidence like that, you can really let down the guards of comparison, right? If you let down the guards of comparison, you can understand that confidence has to be constructed. Oh, I wish somebody would throw that over in the chat, because that sounded good to me. Confidence has to be constructed. And then on top of it being constructed, you have to add things to it. Again, just like the inside of your home, there's things that's going to break down. Just, I love washing my dishes before I put them in the dishwasher. But when my dishwasher actually broke down, I was just over life. I was like, I need another dishwasher. I love washing dishes. It's therapeutic for me. Because I take the dishes, I wash them, and then I put them in the dishwasher. Please don't judge me, okay? That's what I do. But when I did not have that luxury, when I did not have the dishwasher, I felt like I was not going to be able to do what I need to do. So all I'm saying is that when things break down, you have to replace them. And it's the same with confidence. As your confidence builds, there are certain things that's inside of the environments, whether they're outside of work or whether they're inside of the workplace that actually affect how you see yourself in that role, in that position, in that company, right? And so what you have to do sometimes is step outside of yourself, and you have to naturally assume that your confidence will arrive through what? Experience. Most of the confidence that I have right now is not because somebody handed me a package and said, here's your package of confidence, and this is how much confidence you're going to be given for your life. But my confidence has been built through experiences. So we have to understand that confidence grows in line with our requirements in our job. Most of the time we get so hard on ourselves because, and guess what? We miss opportunities because we feel like we have to have this certain level of confidence to apply for different jobs, right? If I'm saying something that's correct, say it is correct. If you disagree, please feel, I welcome the feedback. It will help me move forward. Did y'all get that? Anyway, I want you to understand that because we are evolving, we have to understand that you don't get the confidence first in some cases to apply for different roles. In most cases, you have to grow into the role. Okay? You have to grow into that. And that's something so particular. It's something so special. You have to grow into what your requirements are. Now, I just received a new position at my job as a senior quality analyst. Did I know everything in particular about being a senior quality analyst when I received the position? Absolutely not. But here's the thing. I had been on that interview pretty much the entire time I was at work because I was always volunteering. I was always raising my hand. I was always the one willing to stay late and work on projects and join different initiatives and things of that nature. So that was an indirect interview. Do you hear what I'm saying? It was an indirect interview. So it wasn't because I was skilled as a quality analyst. It was because I had already been doing things that said, hey, she would be a primary candidate to get this role. And while she's in the role, we have the confidence in her to build inside of the role. So I didn't have it all, but I was confident enough to apply for the position. And when they asked me a very specific question, they said to me, why do you feel that you are the best candidate for this position? I certainly couldn't tell them because I had years of experience in it, but I could tell them that you have seen me work. You've seen my works. You know my works. You've seen me work. And you know the things that I can bring to the table. And I heard somebody say, her name is Misha Maynard. And she said these words to me. You don't only want to be on the menu at your job. You want to be at the table. I understood that I was more than a menu item. Can you see yourself more than a menu item at your job? You have to see that. And you know what? We have to bring in our mindset that we're not just at a job, that we're building a career. Now, this is for those who are very career focused, very career driven. I'm not saying that I'm not talking about the jobs that you're just trying to, get a little extra money at and, have a little stash somewhere. I'm not speaking of those. I'm not speaking of jobs. I am speaking of careers. So I will use those words interchangeably here. But in this segment, I am literally talking about the professional segments that we are in right now. And so you have to continue to build yourself in order to see yourself in those roles. As you receive promotions, because you're confident in that, and as you're building in that, guess what? You will build with the requirements of those roles. So let's keep moving here. I also want to bring to the fore that it's very significant to understand that you need to celebrate your wins. Okay. I was speaking to my husband earlier today, and Vincent and I, we share education together, and he's on an educational path right now that is really blowing my mind. And because of his excitement on his educational journey, it is causing him to have conversations with me that clearly is sharpening my levels of thinking, because we are two separate individuals. I am certainly right brained, he's left brained, and you would have to go do a little bit of research on that to understand how those dynamics are so powerful when they come together. And so what I really want you all to also hear in this is that you have to understand significantly that you have to celebrate wins. He said today that he is going to start celebrating small wins in his educational journey so that it can continue to build his confidence. That is so powerful. So what I would challenge you all to do, let me give you a challenge. I want to throw out a challenge. There's not a good coach or a good motivational speaker that does not leave you stirred enough or provoked to challenge. Here's the challenge. Every single day, what I would love for you to do is write down at least 5 good things that happen at work. Now, sometimes it's like we're juggling so much at work, and it's like you have all of these things going in your hand, and we don't always have great days at work. There's some days that I'm celebrated highly, and there are other days that I feel like, OMG, I probably need to chill out because you just feel so worthless in your role, and you feel like you've messed up or you've made certain mistakes. And instead of us using those mistakes to energize us or using those mistakes to fuel our progress, we get so hard on ourselves and get so down on ourselves that we really, really create a negative experience that becomes a blind spot to our own brilliance. So what I really want us to do is to start capturing the wins of our job. Even if you have to put those in a folder somewhere in your email, if somebody sends you a celebration. Now, it's so wonderful when your colleague can say, hey, TK, thank you so much for staying late for me. You didn't have to do that, but if you had not have stayed late for me, I wouldn't have been able to take my daughter to her soccer game, or I wouldn't have been able to see my son run track, or what have you, or I really wanted to fix this great dinner for my husband for our anniversary, and had you not stayed for me or switched shifts with me, I wouldn't have been able to do that. When you get those types of emails, celebrate it. When you get those types of conversations through Teams, put it off to the side and make sure you capture those moments. And every single day, I want you to I'm challenging you right now. Every single day, write down something that happened good at your job. This right here gives you a little bit of motivation to come in every day doing what? Looking for the good. And guess what? It shows that you are not trying to be fake. You're trying to shake off this element, this little small demon in your voice, in your head, saying, you're not good enough for this job. You applied for this role, you didn't get it. Somehow you must not be worth it. They already have their picks and chooses. Why does she get to work on emails and I have to sit on the phones, or why do they get a chance to answer the phone and you just stick me on the job of rambling through an email box? All of these different things causes us to fail in the areas of confidence. Yes, I'm still talking about confidence. Oh, y'all thought I was going to come on and tell you to wear a nice suit, put on some heels, get your hair done, make sure your teeth are whitened. Y'all thought I was going to tell y'all that. That is a byproduct. Those are things we do to look like we have confidence. Come on. Did I just say something? Those are things we do to appear to have confidence. But what I want us to do is to be very true to what makes confidence work for us. So, as I come to a close here, I didn't want to be here very long. I'm just hoping that this little stop through can help you, because listen, I don't want you to use the voice in your head that tells you that you're not confident and you're not good enough. I don't want you to use that against yourself. I want you to take that and listen. I heard someone say, I've taken a course, a series of courses, and I'm a lifelong learner. So I'm always looking for other things to do, because as I teach, coach, and train others and propel them into their destinies by telling them to invest in their personal growth, I too cannot be a hypocrite to that. So I have to sincerely invest in my personal growth so that I do not become a hypocrite to what I am trying to help express. So I don't want to become my own critic. So I have to do what I tell other people to do. So I have to invest in my personal growth. So as I take the journey of investing in my personal growth, I heard someone say, which was so good to me. She stated this. She was an instructor, and she says that instead of using the negativity in your mind that creates that internal dialogue that says that you're no good, and we see it as this big bully, she says use it otherwise as like a small child tugging on you. And it's so clear why she would say that, because research suggests to us that a lot of our internal dialogue, it develops in our childhood, right? So if you see your negative voice as a little child just pulling on you, you know what you do? For that child, you look down at that child and you seek to answer it. You want to protect it. You don't see it as that. You see it as a scared person needing protection. And if you can just get yourself to see that inner critic as a small child, just saying, look, asking the question, are you nervous? You think you're going to be able to do this? Are you afraid? If you can see it as such, the only thing it's going to do is fuel that power to say, guess what? Yes, I am afraid, but I can do it, because you see yourself bigger than the inner voice, right? So listen, that makes me so excited. So disempower the inner critic. Disempower it. Take its power away. Move past saying, I cannot do that. I just had a conversation earlier today with someone, and this is a true story. So many of us have been able to give advice to so many other people because we sit in the chair of the motivator. And that's what I call myself, right? TK, the motivator. I think I got that name from Dr. Taylor. She gave me that name. TK, the motivator. I am the motivator. Yes, ma'am, I am. But for so many of us, even the motivators out here, for so many of us, we die to the inner critic. And even on our jobs, we allow that inner critic to tell us what we're not good at. We allow the inner critic to tell us that we're not qualified for a certain space. We allow the inner critic to tell us that they already have their picks and chooses. And guess what? Even if they do, defy the odds and go for it anyway, right? So let's rehearse. We're not going to bow to the inner critic. In fact, we're going to disempower it, right? We are going to build confidence, not just by doing what's natural to what confident people do. I don't have to get on here and tell you how to dress and how to wear your hair and how much makeup you should have on or off, or how much cologne you should not wear, or how your hair should be presented when you hit a boardroom or a corporate office. Those are things that come as a result of what's inside of you. So a lot of times we put on those things and we don't feel confident still. So we still succumb to the inner critic, right? So what I'm saying is, let me encourage you. As we dress up, as we dress up, as we put on the 3-piece suit, as we put on that nice tailored suit to walk in, and as we put on those heels that make us stand so high and feel so empowered, let us not die to the inner critic. Let us not empower that, okay? What we want to do in the workplace is that we want to build past what has been, what we have been told. And we're going to utilize failure. We're going to utilize failure. Hear me and hear me well. We're going to utilize failure to fuel our next victory. So the challenge tonight is to, starting your work day or work week Monday, you're going to write down 5 wins per day, 5 victories, so that you do not hold on to your mistakes of the day. Write down 5 victories. Because we are genetically wired, we have the propensity to focus on negative experiences. So what I want us to start doing at work is focusing on what's good so that we do not become a blind spot to our own brilliance. Tonight, I have enjoyed this conversation with you. I hope you have enjoyed TK, the corporate church girl. That's right. I take church with me everywhere I go. However, we do understand that it is inside of certain segments that we must exude levels of confidence that's going to propel us into higher levels. Thank you so much, you all, for joining me on a Friday night. Woo, when the games are on and you're out with your boo and you're all cuddled and coddled and you are having fun doing what you do. You've taken out just a little bit of your night to join with me. Listen, I'm headed to do my homework. I was a little bit down, just been a little bit down about that homework. I've been feeling a little low, and I'll come back and talk about that at another time. However, headed to do that, but I wish you all a wonderful, safe Friday evening. And when we hit that workplace on Monday, we are going to go in enthused, reinvigorated, energized, understanding that we will not allow our brilliance to be dimmed. Take care. Have a wonderful evening. God bless. See you at another time.